What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Ben Ballion, back with another episode of the Sports Pod. And today I'm joined by a very special guest. He's the nighttime host on the biggest sports radio station in the world, WFAN. He hosts both the Talking Nets and BXB podcasts. And last but certainly not least, the first repeat guest in Sports Pod history. Keith, how's it going there?
Yo, what up, Ben? Appreciate you, bro. Glad to join you, help you out. I appreciate you helping me out. And hopefully this gives you a little boost. I see we have 25 people watching on the live. We had it up to 35. They probably didn't know what we were doing. We're talking sports.
As always, I appreciate you coming on today. I know you have a jam-packed schedule. And happy late birthday to your son, Jackson.
Thanks, love that boy.
I thought we could take some time today, do a little NBA playoff preview, and then also get into some MLB after the first 20 or so games.
That ball is out of here! Out of
Starting off out west, a couple days ago now, we saw the Warriors take an early exit in the play-in tournament, and there has been some speculation that this could be the end of the Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson era. What direction do you see the Warriors going in this offseason?
It depends. I heard Steph talk, and he said he can't see himself playing without those two guys. Klay and Draymond, bruh, it's over. They're cooked. Like if they're smart, they don't bring those guys back. They try to rebuild, but they had a dynasty. They won 4 rings. They are the Warriors. It's like breaking the Beatles up. It's like the last dance. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna listen to what Steph wants to do, and that might not be the right thing to do. They have fallen from grace. Father Time is undefeated, and their run is over.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, especially since I saw a Woj tweet after yesterday after the game that said Draymond actually punched Klay in the locker room, which I don't know if I could believe that, but it is Draymond and it is Woj, so it kind of does lead me to believe it.
Probably wasn't the first time. Draymond is like that. We saw the video of him punching Jordan Poole, and they got Jordan Poole up out of there. Draymond is a physical guy. We see him hit guys on the court. What do you think he does when they're not on the court and they're in the locker room where there's not supposed to be any cameras? I wouldn't put it past Draymond punching Klay.
Yeah, me neither. Okay,
if that report comes out, it came from somewhere.
It definitely came from somewhere. So probably a month back now, I called you on the fan, and I said, let's bring Curry to the Garden. Is it time to revisit this conversation?
Yo, you Knicks fans are hilarious. You want it all. No, Steph Curry is not coming to the Knicks. He's going to retire in that one jersey because that's rare now, right? We don't see that now. You see too many guys trying to form super teams. Steph is a Warrior, once a Warrior, only a Warrior. He's not going to be a Knick.
I get that, but if the Warriors do decide to blow it up, they have a lot of young talent, and they'll be looking to acquire more draft picks. The Knicks have
Dante DiVincenzo. You got Dante DiVincenzo. He used to be a Warrior. That's your great value brand, Steph Curry.
Bro,
yeah, you don't.
We
you don't
have the third most draft picks over the next year, first-round draft picks.
So you're gonna get rid of a first-round draft pick for a 35-year-old? Nah, it's not happening.
This is our time. If we re-sign OG in the offseason, this is our window. This is our championship period where we have to go all out. We have to do everything we can to win a championship right here.
To get Steph, who'll be 36 next year? No, your team average age is 26.
He can shoot the ball. He can run around the court.
You have a bunch of shooters. Brunson can shoot. DiVincenzo can shoot. McBride can shoot. Like you don't need Steph Curry. The ship has sailed, and he's not putting on a New York Knicks jersey. He's staying out there out west.
I mean, I just feel like Leon Rose has been so good at acquiring young talent and talent.
Yes. Young talent.
Exactly, which does lead, and to your point, he hasn't chased a star yet.
He's not gonna, not Steph
but
Curry.
I think this is the turn. I think this is the time that you have to.
These young guys, they're Kobe Bryant and Steph Curry. I understand, right? I wish Kobe Bryant got drafted by the Nets. I wish he came to the Nets. But like, nah, bro. I'm telling you, he's not gonna play for another organization. He's gonna go down in history as the best player they've ever had. They're gonna put a statue up outside of the Chase Arena. It's gonna be way bigger than the Allen Iverson statue. He's a warrior. End of story.
I mean, I get that, but then another team that's also has a lot of young talent and might be chasing a star like Curry, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're the team with the most draft picks over the next first round picks over the next 5 years.
Finesse.
And they have the youngest average age on their team of 23.4 years old. So can you see them trading for a superstar? And if yes, then who is it?
They have superstars already. They can trade for one, but they're not going to mess up their team chemistry. They're not going to mess up what they already have. Man, those picks aren't going anywhere. Let's see what they do, man. For them to be a 1 seed, like, think about, I mean, you were young, but think about what they had when it was KD, Russ, and the Beard. Like, to me, for them to go through that was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, for them to go from that to this, they've got it all figured out. Props to their front office. I don't think that they're going star chasing. They have a star in SGA. Chet is pretty decent as well, and they have some good role players around those guys.
Yeah, and I mean, they've already gone through this kind of situation. A lot of really good young talent, and I'm not sure if it's the same regime in there still, but if they can, they could have learned from that experience with the Harden, KD, Serge Ibaka situation, and they could be better for it and not try to chase a championship or form a super team.
They draft well and they finesse well and they make the right trades. Now let's see if this 1 seed actually ends up with them getting to the finals. I don't think it's gonna.
I don't think it will, because I just think that
you got Alex Verdugo back there.
Crazy.
Alex Verdugo, Juan Soto. You got the dogs barking on cue for the Yankee talk.
Oh my goodness. Why is she going crazy?
Beware a dog. I got my beware a dog sign back there somewhere.
Verdugo is not downstairs. I'm telling you that. What we're saying with the Thunder, I mean, if they draft well, they can, or we could be seeing the next dynasty in the making.
Where my dogs at? We right here, dog. That's a good clip for social media.
Yeah. With the Thunder, they could be the next dynasty in the making. If they continue to draft well and then sign SGA, he's gonna want a max extension, but they gotta retain him. To be a
dynasty, you gotta win. Let's see what they do with these young guys in the playoffs. If they win a championship, then we start talking dynasty. We can't even say they're a dynasty in the making. Good job getting the 1 seed, but the regular season has nothing to do with the playoffs. We see it every single year.
Yeah, I don't think it the 1 seed leads to a finals appearance this year, a finals appearance this year, but you still got Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray in the West, and there's just so much talent, and they're so young, they don't have the playoff experience.
Right. There's grown men in the West that do this every year and understand what it takes. And let's see. This is gonna be a great NBA playoffs. There are so many narratives and storylines.
It's gonna be really good. And now heading over to the East, I want to talk about the Bucks a little bit, because they at 30-13 when they fired Adrian Griffin, they've been a sub 500 team since the hiring of Doc Rivers. If they don't make a deep playoff run, is Doc Rivers on the hot seat?
No, he's fired. There's no hot seat. He's gone. He's out. If they lose in the first round, he's gone. He'll be right back on TV.
I thought he should have been gone before the playoffs. I mean, I don't know
Can't
what they
fire
were
two
thinking,
coaches.
taking him off TV where he was doing doing really well, I guess. I mean, not like great or anything, nothing special, but
Good
where
enough.
he wasn't, yeah, good enough. But
He should have hung it up with the coaching. He's failed a ton, and they're going to fail again. Giannis is compromised. Damian Lillard does not want to be in Wisconsin. You ever been to Wisconsin, Ben?
Nah, I've never been there. But he said
I went there once. I'm trying to never go back.
he said because he got divorced also this year. He said my life is boring. It's I go to work, I hoop, and I come home and play. I lift and I play video games.
Yeah, he's a multi-millionaire hooper. I can't feel bad for him. I do feel bad about the divorce and his kids, but listen, like it didn't go right in Portland where you said you wanted to stay. You said you weren't ducking the grind and you were trying to stay up. Portland, like the NBA is crazy, man. I don't know everything that went down with his relationship. I'm sure it was more than him leaving Portland because that's business. I'm sure there was some private personal matters. I feel bad for him, his wife, and the kids, but it is what it is. I hate the Bucks, honestly. I got no love in my heart for the Milwaukee Bucks. I hate watching Giannis play. I hope they fail. I hope they're a first round exit.
I mean, I can't lie to you. I can't lie. I would honestly rather as a Knicks fan right now. I'm thinking about a potential matchup for the second round. I would
Pacers.
rather the Bucks. Oh well, I don't think the
You're
Pacers
gonna get
can
the
survive.
Pacers.
I don't know. They're not going to be able to score 140 points a game in the playoffs.
The Pacers?
Yeah.
The Bucks? All right, so it's Bobby Portis is going to go off the whole series. If Giannis is compromised, I think they have enough. Dame has to go off for 40 every game. Man, the Pacers, I know it's not the in-season tournament, but they beat the Bucks in the in-season tournament. And that's what I'm saying about the NBA playoffs, their storylines. That storyline of Giannis running through the tunnel to try and get the ball back from them, like there's beef there. I think the Pacers could knock them off. If Giannis is hurt, that's the same thing that happened last year. That's how the Heat got hot. Yeah. Giannis missed one game, and that flipped the series.
I mean, yeah, 100%. But also, they're another young team. Halliburton, no playoff experience. Neesmith, nothing.
It don't matter in the first round.
I guess, but I mean, I still think Giannis is going to be good enough to get out of the first round. I think he has to be.
All right. The last thing that I saw was that they're expecting to be without him.
Yeah, he's going to be out for at least, I think, just game one, though.
Okay, if it's just one game, we'll see. But you watched the game last night. Embiid played, but he was compromised. When these guys play and they're not their 100% selves, they're not as effective. They're not the same threat.
Yeah, Embiid falling down after a free throw and then asking for a review from the bench. I mean, he's not right.
Soft. Foul merchant.
That's exactly right. I mean,
Bozo. I can't stand Embiid either. He kicked Nick Claxton in the you-know-what last year, and he also missed a game in that Nets series. The Nets had 2 games that they could have got off the Sixers. Instead, they got swept.
Yeah, I mean, after Katie and Kyrie left, they didn't stand a chance. You couldn't have been expecting anything out of them.
Win a game. A game.
I guess
in 2018, the Nets won the first game of the series, then got swept with Joe Harris and Karis LeVert and those boys.
Yeah, I guess because Mikal Bridges wasn't the Mikal Bridges we saw this year either. He's
not him.
No. Bring him to New York. Bring him to the Garden.
You can have him. One. You want to talk about getting Steph Curry? Send us those picks that you want to send for Steph Curry. Get a younger talent. You can have Mikal Bridges. Send us 2 first-round picks for him.
2 first? That's crazy. I think maybe like 1 and then a bench player. 1 and a Chua. You can have him.
The price is higher. There's an in-state tax.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but
there's a rivalry here. We can't just give you Mikal Bridges. We know you want him. We know you want to complete the Fantastic Four from Villanova.
No, we got to sign
2 first.
We got to sign Arcidiacono back first.
No way.
He's
no
came
room
back.
For him.
But yeah.
Rather have Malachi Flynn back than him.
Can't believe he went off for 50. That was insane.
I don't know where that came from either. He was on one. They were calling him, what were they calling him? Evil Dante?
Evil Dante, yeah. The thing was, the Knicks had the Pokemon evolution tree with Hartenstein, Dante. And... All right.
That was funny.
Yeah, the Knicks could have rested their top guys in Game 82 against the Bulls. They decided not to. The true Tom Thibodeau way, I don't think there was any discussion whether they were going to sit Brunson in them. And they could have fallen back and taken the 3 and played the Pacers in the first round. Which side were you on? Did you think they should have tanked for the 3 or went after the 2 like they did?
Ain't no rest for the wicked. You don't rest. Tom Thibodeau doesn't rest his guys. You don't take your foot off the gas. You don't try and lose. You don't tank. You don't say, "Oh, we rather get this matchup." You try and get the highest seed that you can get, and you get what you get.
I mean, that's the way I was thinking too, because I liked how we matched up with the Heat. OG guarding Jimmy Butler, Devo and Deuce on Tyler Hero, and then Hartenstein on Bam. I thought we matched up with them really well. And with the Sixers, Embiid is not 100%. He's at like 60% right now. And I mean, the last time we played them full health, everybody fully healthy, 128-92 Knicks win in Wells Fargo Center. So I mean, I don't think I should be scared of either the Heat or the Sixers. And then with the I don't think I'm scared of anybody in the East.
Obviously, in hindsight now, with Jimmy Butler being out, it would have been an easy sweep probably of the Heat without Butler if you got them. I mean, they were this close to winning that game. But, if you want to be the best, beat the best. It is that much more rewarding. It is that much more entertaining. It is that much more fulfilling to take the hard road. Embiid is the reigning MVP. Go knock him off. This is New York versus Philly. It's a long-standing rivalry. It's not even a long ride down there. It's a 90-minute car ride down the turnpike straight. Like, this is going to be lit. This is going to be everything you want for your Villanova guys, right? They played their home games in the Wells Fargo Center. That's home away from home. They're comfortable down there. There are Knicks fans down there. The Knicks fans have taken over their arena this season. I just look at this matchup. I said it last night. I'm the first one on the fan to say Knicks in 5. I think they'll get a game off you. But if everybody's healthy on both sides, which we know Embiid's not 100% healthy, it's Knicks in 5. The Knicks aren't losing to them in the Garden. The Garden is different, bro. I was in there for Game 5 against the Heat. The energy in there during a playoff game is different, especially when everyone's standing. It's like there's different air in there. I don't know how to explain it. It's a huge advantage for the Knicks.
I'm going to a playoff game this year. I cannot wait. It's gonna be a movie in the Garden. I mean,
yeah, it is. Get the popcorn ready.
But getting back to like the Sixers. Like, the Knicks are a way better. They're a better team. They're a better all-around team, a better defensive team, a better rebounding team. I guess not a better free throw shooting team because Embiid and his foul merchant is a foul merchant, and he doesn't know how to play basketball the right way, like Brunson does, like Hart does, like DiVincenzo does. And I mean, I think it's Knicks in 5 or Knicks in 4.
Me too. I honestly think when you look, all right, you just asked me, like, should they have taken their foot off the gas in the last game? No. They play a better style of basketball, a more well-conditioned style of basketball. Their defensive intensity, the way Josh Hart goes after balls, the way that OG Anunoby locks down whoever he's on, the way that Ihart, Mitchell Robinson are going to be able to defend Embiid. If Embiid's knee is every year we see him just, either come off limping or worn down by the end of the year. They can't run with these guys from the Knicks who are used to playing 40 minutes. Like, it's a different game.
I mean, Dante played 53 in the last game of the season. And I think with the Knicks, we play a more sustainable style of basketball. We've gone through a lot of controversy this year. Losing Mitchell Robinson in December, then losing OG and Julius in January, and still finding a way to go out there, compete, and win on a nightly basis. It's a more sustainable style of basketball, and I think it transfers into the playoffs.
Yeah, it does. It's all about Brunson, though. If they can neutralize Brunson, you're in trouble. But I don't think anybody can. I was talking to someone recently. I'm like, who are they going to put on Brunson? Like, who's going to defend Brunson? Kyle Lowry? Barbecue chicken.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's either Kyle Lowry or Maxey.
Doesn't matter. Neither one of them can check him. Neither one of them can check him. So if he's good for his 35 points and DiVincenzo's hitting his shots and OG hits his shots, Josh Hart gets his rebounds, couple points, assists, and then in the middle you got iHeart doing his thing, they're just a better team. They're just a better team.
I think arguably the most important thing down these last 7 or 8 games of the season, Bojan Bogdanovic has been on a heater. I
think they got a better bench.
Easily. We're a better all-around team, I think. I mean, Deuce coming off the bench as a 6-man, filled in for Quickly perfectly. I mean, I was thinking about we should bring Quickly back in January, like in free agency. But now Deuce has stepped up the way he has, and he's played the way he has. And I'm like, we don't need him anymore. I would still like to bring him back. Quickly was my favorite player from the day he got here, but we don't need him.
Quickly ship has sailed. They were never going to start him or pay him. He was never going to get to shine the way that he needs to and start. Miles McBride they paid. He's not going anywhere. Deuce is staying. You have the team. They've put the right pieces together. When I look at the Sixers, though, like, are you going to let Nicholas Batum beat you? You're going to let Buddy Hield beat you? Paul Reed already talking shit. You're not going to let him do anything. No, I don't see it, bro. Tobias Harris was trash last night.
Tobias Harris over me?
No.
It would have been great last night if he walked off the court and went, yes, Jimmy, Tobias Harris, I'm over you.
Yeah, the Sixers are cooked. The last thing I'll say about them is you can put all these different guys around Embiid. It still won't work. No. Jimmy Butler, James Harden, Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, Tsunami Poppy. I don't care. Embiid is going to cry in the car. It's over.
That's all he's cooked. With the Knicks getting 2 of their 3 top guys back in Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby, you were saying that I'm not going to put a limit on how far this team can go. And then once they got hurt, you were saying there was they had a limit and a ceiling that as far as they can go. Has that been lifted since the 2 out of 3 guys?
You know what? I got to clear it up, and I am again tonight when I go on WFAN because they clip me and they keep running the clip. What I originally said was once the Knicks get whole, right? Once they get Mitch back, once they get OG back, once they get Randall back, I'm not putting a ceiling on this team because in January, they beat everybody that they faced, right? Then when they got the news that Randall was shut down for the year, I'm like, oh, that might be a death blow. You can't replace 20 and 10. You know, you can't replace his defense. But yes, you can. They've replaced it the last couple months without him. They've evolved as a team without him. They do not need him. He's a ball stopper. He's also going to chuck up threes. He's going to do it his way sometimes and F the game up. So what I was saying on the night that Julius Randle was confirmed out for the season was they can't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They can't make it to the finals without Julius. Well, I didn't think they were going to get the 2 seed. And I also started watching them and how differently they play without Julius. So I retracted that statement. I said, listen, I'm not going to be a hater. Yeah, I'm a Nets fan, but the Nets are ass. They have nothing to do with this. Like Evan, I can tell Evan is putting on his Nets hater cap and he's rooting for the Knicks to lose. And I'm like, I'm not rooting for the Knicks to lose. This never happens. They're never the 2 seed. They're never this good. And I think they have the right chemistry with this team. And not having Julius Randle, who hasn't performed in the playoffs, might actually be a good thing.
I hate when people say the Julius Randle stuff. Listen,
it's the truth.
It's not, though, because against
what
the
happened
Hawks,
last year? They were pulling his poster down.
He was hurt. He needed ankle surgery.
Okay, so if he played this year, he would have been hurt again. Julius, we'll take it from here without you, bro. Rest up. Get back for next season. Let Brunson be the guy.
Yes.
Let DiVincenzo be the second guy in command instead of it being Brunson versus Randall. Who's going to score the most points, take the most shots?
And I agree with that, right? But the people saying he's a playoff choker, he doesn't perform in the playoffs, he hasn't had a good chance to show what he is.
No. He had a good chance in the We Here season. He folded. He didn't do shit.
He was getting triple teamed. He had no team around him.
Okay, you're a Julius Randle apologist. You're making excuses for him, though, right? That's what everybody was saying because we watched him not be Julius Randle, right? We watched Trae Young come in there. They spit on Trae Young, and he took a bow, and he ended the Knicks season. Then last year, they didn't have enough shooters. And the Miami Heat handled y'all because IQ was hurt. Julius was also compromised. Brunson could not do it alone. Here we go this year. You don't got to worry about Spoelstra and the Heat culture. You don't got to worry about Miami, but you do got to worry about Nick Nurse and Embiid first round. I think you get past them, you're on your way to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, easily. I don't think the Pacers or the Bucks have a chance with us. I think we smoke them.
Agree.
All right, getting to some of the baseball I wanted to talk about. In the first week of the season, the Yankees and Mets were going in complete opposite directions. Yankees on the way up, Mets on the way down. But in the past week or so, it's been almost the opposite way. The Yankees losing 4 of their last 7, and the Mets winning 4 series in a row. So what do you think the biggest factor for the Mets was in this early season turnaround?
The biggest factor for the Mets was getting out of New York, getting away from the negative energy, the toxicity of the fan base, WFAN callers, people on Mets Twitter, people messaging Francisco Lindor's wife. It was all bad. They took their first road trip together, and they realized, hey, we won a game. We can win another game. And they won 2 in a row. Then they should have won 3 in a row, and they looked like the LOL Mets, and they fumbled that second game, but then they took the series. And once you get your first series win, you start to believe. And then they go to Atlanta, and they face their nemesis, the big, bad, bully Braves, and they find a way to beat them in a thrilling game. And then the next game, the Braves go up by a few runs again, and you're thinking, oh, this game's over, and they fight back. So it's all about belief and confidence and doing it. And they basically went on the road and did it, and they came back home and did it. And you can forget all about Rhys Hoskins and the Brewers series. You can forget all about Gio Urshela, Mark Canha, and the Tigers in that series. The Mets have a decent team. They've won 10 out of 13. They have 7 comeback wins, and they're also doing it with pitching. I was told they don't have a rotation. I was told the bullpen sucks. I told everybody there's no way the bullpen is as bad as it was last year. Man, Reed Garrett has been sharp. You have arguably the best closer in baseball in Edwin Diaz. Adam Ottavino had a rough little start. Michael Tonkin, rough go at it. They dropped him. He came back. You got him back. But there's enough guys like Drew Smith holding it down. Jorge Lopez holding it down. They have a better bullpen than advertised. And I had said this. I said this on the fan, and I'm going to go back and clip my stuff if the Mets keep this going. If that lineup can get a lead, the bullpen's not going to blow it. And what they've been doing is waiting till the 7th, 8th inning to get that lead, and then leaving a quick mess for the bullpen to easily clean up. No mess for the bullpen to clean up. A quick job for the bullpen to handle.
Yeah, you mentioned Reed Garrett. He's been huge. Hasn't allowed a run.
Zeros, putting up zeros, striking everybody out.
I mean, everybody's saying, oh, it's the Milwaukee Mets, small market Stearns. Nobody's saying that now. Nobody's saying that now. Tyrone Taylor has been way better than people were thinking. Francisco Lindor started to get it going. Pete Alonso's been red hot. I mean,
Harrison Bader.
Bader's gotten it going.
Nimmo had a hell of a game against the Braves. He's starting to come around. McNeil's starting to come around.
Yes, and then the last guy, Brett Beatty, has been on an absolute tear to start the year.
Sucks
His
he got hurt.
defense looks much improved. Yeah, I think they're saying they're optimistic he's going to avoid an IL stint, which is big. And then you look, Francisco Lindor didn't have the hottest of starts, right? But his leadership is what helped Brett Beatty to get to this point and helped improve his defense, helped improve his hitting. And I wonder if Mark Vientos was still up here, if the same would have happened to him.
DJ Stewart finally hitting home runs. Mark Vientos got the raw deal. JD Martinez not even ready to go. We don't know when he's going to be ready to go. He's damaged goods.
I mean, I wanted JD Martinez. He's posting all these workout videos. I don't know how he's not ready to go. He's begging for an opportunity, and then he's not ready for it.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me.
Stay ready so you don't got to get ready. What were you doing all winter?
Begging for a job.
Yeah, but the Giants gave him an offer, and he turned it down because he didn't want to go to San Francisco. And then the Mets thought they were done, and then they found a way to finagle the numbers and the contract and the deferred money. He should have been ready. He should have been ready to go. He was talking about how he's addicted to the postseason and how he wants to get more opportunities to play in the postseason. Well, the Mets lost their first 5 games. You could have helped.
I mean, and if you look at that first homestand, if they had JD Martinez, I think they split the homestand either 2-3, 3-2.
Bro, they couldn't score. They had like 15 straight shutout
Yes,
innings.
they got one hit on opening day.
Marte hit the homer, and after that, they got no hit.
Yeah, and if they went 3-2 on that first homestand, they're at the top of baseball with the Yankees right now. And
That's baseball.
Speaking of the Yankees, the Juan Soto effect early on has definitely been apparent. And he's been doing a lot of heavy lifting for the Yankees. I know you've said it, Aaron Judge doesn't look right. How far do you think the Yankees can realistically go if Aaron Judge isn't hitting like his normal self?
I think Aaron Judge is about to get right. I think that game-winning single, two-run single at the end of the game was what he needed. He hasn't looked right to me. His timing looks off. He's not getting any help from the umpires. So when you ask me how far can the Yankees go without Aaron Judge looking right, they can't. They can't go far. This whole thing is supposed to be Soto is in front of Judge, and Judge is hitting home runs and driving them in, and now Volpe's in the leadoff spot. Those guys work walks or take what they can get and get on, and then Judge drives them in. Judge is a $40 million player. He's a former MVP. He hit 62 home runs 2 years ago. He has to be a dominant force. I don't know if his toe hurts. I don't know if his oblique, ab, whatever is ailing him, and that's why he hasn't been so dominant, but he looks like a different hitter at the plate. He's gotta get back to being Aaron Judge for this team to really go.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you. I mean, Alex Verdugo and the Dogs can only carry them so far, and it's supposed to be Aaron Judge and friends. Aaron Judge just killing the league. Aaron Judge dominating everybody. A perennial MVP, and that's just not what we see.
The Yankees sucked last year because Judge was hurt. He missed a third of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go through that again, even if he is right. Because if you do miss him for a month or two, you're gonna be messed up, and your record isn't. And you're gonna be a wild card team, which I think you are. I think you are anyway.
No, we're gonna win. We're gonna win the East. Here's something for you to think about. Judge might be compromised, but they do not want to put him on the IL in the first month. We're 3 weeks into the season. But there's a kid that they call the Martian named Jason Dominguez that is on the way back. And I think there's a chance that in June we see the Martian come back and we see Cole come back, and maybe they do put Judge on the IL if he's still struggling, if he needs a break, if he needs to heal up. I hope that's not the case. But if the Martian comes up, you put the Martian in center field. You also have Trent Grisham. You can move some pieces around and have the Martian, a switch hitter in the middle of that order with Juan Soto. It could get crazy, for real.
I mean, yeah, they might be able to slip him to the IL for 15 days, get him right, while everybody's still high on Cole and Dominguez coming back.
That's the only way. You could distract us with Aaron Judge hits the IL, but the Yankees reinstate Garrett Cole and Jason Dominguez, and we'll be like, okay, whatever, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, because when Dominguez was right last year, he was hitting the ball. He was
right away. His first swing, he took Verlander deep. I was at Yankee Stadium for his 4th home run. He looked comfortable in center field. He looked comfortable at the plate. And I'll say this too: when the Yankees get to June, man, they got to be in first place. They got to be well above 500 because in June, just from my memory, they will face the Braves, the Dodgers, the Orioles, the Mets. They have to face some good teams.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be right. They have to continue this role. They can't let this last series against the Blue Jays affect them for much longer.
First series lost. Avoided the sweep. That's baseball, Susan. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's really, they just got to get right. They got to keep rolling how they were. And I think they'll be fine, honestly. All right, Keith, appreciate your time today. You have any last words?
Man, keep grinding, keep hustling, keep doing your thing. I salute you because you're someone that reached out to have me on your podcast, I don't know, maybe a year ago.
It was at the start of the NBA season.
Okay, maybe start of NBA season last year. It feels like a while ago. But then I also said, I'm looking for some people that want to help and want to kind of intern for me. And you took the opportunity and we figured out a little working relationship. For people watching, what Ben does for me every show is just give me a one sheet. And that's something that I, kind of presented for him to do for 2 reasons. One, obviously, it'll help me. I put my notes together for my show every night, but maybe he'll have something that I missed. So when I have a 5-hour show like tonight, and I'm kind of reaching for news or topics, I'm like, oh, here's something that Ben suggested. But also, it's good for him because it's going to build his sports knowledge because now he's looking at the news every day and he's looking at headlines and stuff every day and putting them in a doc for me. But then also, he's learning how, parts of the radio work. Almost all of our shows have a one sheet of topics that the producers make. My producers usually don't unless I request it. And shout out to Ben for coming through with the one sheet every day. He's been solid, just giving me topics. Sometimes I lean on it. Sometimes I don't look at it at all. But I think it's a good exercise for him as a young man who's aspiring to be in radio and in media to just every day be looking at the news and the headlines and the top stories because that's how we function at WFAN. Some of the hosts will have to come up with like hot takes or a line of thought for their show. If you listen to my show, I just talk about what's in the news, and that's what we're going to do tonight. It's an off night for the NBA. Well, the play-in tournament is going on, but the Knicks aren't on. The Yankees and the Mets aren't on. We're most likely going to talk about the series coming up for the Mets and Yankees. We're also going to talk about the series coming up with the Sixers and the Knicks. We'll look ahead to the Capitals-Rangers series, the Islanders Hurricane series, as well as the NFL draft. So that's my final words and a little plug, KM to AM on WFAN tonight, 7 to 12. And you guys make sure you follow Ben. If there's anyone still watching in here that follows me and that doesn't follow Ben, follow him. He's a young, up-and-coming podcaster, sportscaster.
I mean, I appreciate the opportunity to intern for you, first off. And then second off, the stuff that I do for you, it's helped me so much. Like preparing, not only reading the news, but preparing for these shows and
right,
and just like knowing what's going on and stuff like that. All right, thanks for coming on again. All Keith's socials will be in the description. Make sure you check them out on WFAN.
First name, last name. I'm easy to find. Just at Keith McPherson. Appreciate you, Ben. I got to get ready for the show tonight. I'm out, brother.
I'll see you. All right. Make sure you check Keith out again. He's on WFAN 7 to 12 tonight. All his descriptions are, all his links to his socials are in the description. All right, I'm your host, Ben Ballion. I'll talk to you in the next one.